when it comes to promoting yourself on social media, specifically with video content, a lot of entrepreneurs that I meet, a lot of business owners that I meet, it's because they're shy. It's because there's an apprehension that comes to being in front of a camera, having a microphone, lights, a big camera in front of your face, even if it's just a cell phone. But there's a tightening up that happens as soon as a light goes on, as soon as a microphone gets shoved in front of your face, as soon as somebody says, okay, I'm recording right now, there's a tension that happens, and usually it happens like right here. I've experienced that before. Look, I come from an acting background. I studied drama in college, performed Shakespeare in front of hundreds of people. I've sung in front of hundreds of people. I've been in movies and TV shows and all that kind of stuff, commercials. And doing that over and over and over again made it less and less uncomfortable and more just like, okay, this is just reality. This is what I'm doing. And for me, it took putting myself in that position over and over and over again as often as I possibly could to get comfortable in front of a camera. So like, look, right now, for example, there's literally no one in this room. I'm the only person here, but it's very clear who I'm talking to, which is why I'm able to just talk freely about this topic. And I think that's what happens when people get in front of a camera. It's it's deer in the headlights, because you're like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And you're just like waiting around, and then you have someone behind the camera being like, no, do this, do that, do that, and your cup's already almost full, and they're in there just overloading that cup, and now the cup's overflowing. So that's why you freak out, is because you have no idea what you're gonna do. You're full of nerves. You're full of like angst, and then the people who are working around you, who are trying to make you look better, trying to make you feel better, they're just overloading you. And it's not their fault. They're trying to help as much as they can. But they think that by telling you all these things to do, don't think about this, don't think about that, think about this, think about that, say it this way, say it that way. All of those notes, all of that feedback, it just overflows in you. And then you're just like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything. And that's what tends to happen is you have to shoot some videos for your company or for your business to promote yourself, whether that's Instagram Reels or a brand video or testimonials or a giveaway or whatever that is. And then you end up just not wanting to do anything. And then you end up, shooting something 20, 30, 40 times, and then you hate it, and then you don't post it. And you wasted so much time in that day getting that one piece of content out of you, and it just overwhelms you. You're exhausted. You're over it. You think, I'm never going to be good in front of the camera. I'm never going to be good around, presenting in front of people. And that's a really sucky feeling. And it's important to figure out where that comes from. So the two places that I've seen where that comes from the most is either a lack of not knowing what I'm doing or not knowing what I'm saying. So those are two things that I've seen the most, is like, I just don't know what to talk about, or I don't know how to talk about what I'm talking about. And that's the thing, is when you're in front of a camera like this talking, the last place you need to be is in your head. Your head needs to be not full of anything at all, to be honest with you. You have to just be open to what you're currently doing in that moment. And that's why this acting background that I have, for example, has helped me so much in promoting this business, because I can talk about whatever topic it is for hours or days on end because of these sort of techniques and trainings and things like that I've taken in. And I use that a lot when it comes to, helping you connect with your audience over the camera and building trust with them. The last thing you want to do is show up apprehensive, shy, nervous, whatever that feeling is, and then having to do 20, 30, 40 takes. And then you can just, see on all the different takes, the frustration gets higher and higher and higher. And then, you stitch together this video that kind of just doesn't look like you, feel like you don't feel confident. You're not happy with the final result, and it just very clearly comes across on camera that you don't want to be there. You look like you're being like there's a gun off the camera, just being like, you better say these words or else, and you're forcing yourself to say these things. And it comes from two places, like I said: not knowing what you're doing, or not knowing what you're saying. How do I say it, and what do I even say? Those tend to be the two things. And it's a really, I sympathize with it so much. I remember the first couple times being on a stage, the first time being recorded or filmed for a movie or a TV show or a commercial, it was really nerve-wracking. It really was, because it was like a new thing that I didn't really know what exactly I was doing. And so being able to figure out, what you're saying and who you're saying it to, and how do I say these things, just figuring out those things makes it so easy, because all you do when you're recording video content is you just follow this format over and over and over again. And it's this one format that can really just change so much of how you perceive being in front of a camera, recording video content for yourself, for your business, things like that. And so the biggest solution that I've used for myself, the biggest solution that I've used for entrepreneurs and business owners who I am helping get in front of the camera and start recording video content, whether that's short form or long form or interviews or whatever kind of content it is, just being in front of a camera like this. The biggest tool that I've used for them and for me is being very clear on who you're talking to. Okay? Be very clear. And the more specific you can be, the clearer and more and less apprehensive and less nervous and less anxious, the more confident you look in front of a camera, the more clear you are. So you don't have to worry about things like, oh, what do I do with my hands? And how do I speak? And how do I say these things? Because when you get clarity on who you're talking to, all of those things just settle down, get figured out on their own, because you're in the moment. And that's what you want to do every time you're on camera. You want to be in the moment talking to a very specific person. And in most cases, it's, helping that specific person solve a problem, get closer to a solution, give them some sort of value or deal or, solution to a problem. So for now, for example, I'm making this video for busy entrepreneurs, for example. I'm thinking of a very specific person, one very specific person that I have a relationship with, whether that's professional or personal, and I'm just talking to them. That's all I'm doing. That is the only person that I'm not thinking of like, oh my gosh, who's, the 5, 10, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 people who are going to end up watching this video. I'm so nervous about what they're going to think, or what they're going to say about what I'm wearing, or the backwards hat, or if my lighting's not perfect, or if the audio isn't. I'm not worrying about any of that. The only thing I am doing is I'm talking to one specific person and giving them as much of a solution as I possibly can, as helpful as I can be, answering as many questions as I can for them, giving them as much clarity as possible. And when I only focus on that one person and just delivering this message to one specific person, the easier these videos become. And that's what I want for you too. So when it comes to creating video content, when you're shy, you're nervous, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what I don't know how to do this. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's because you're not talking to one person. You're yelling to the world. You're being big, and you're in your head. And that's a terrible place to be when you're creating video content. Because when you're creating video content, you want to be in a place where you are actively giving. You're actively serving. You're actively providing. You're actively solving problems for people. You come across so much more genuine than being in your head and being nervous and kind of looking, being all spastic all over the place. You don't want to be there. And it's an awful place to be. It can affect so many things in your professional life because you lose confidence. And that's what I want for you. I want you to think of a very specific person. And this is what I do. Close your eyes. You just close your eyes just like this. And you think of a very specific person that needs to hear this message, that needs to hear this solution, that needs to be given this value. You have that person in your head, and then you open your eyes and you go. And it's that simple. It really is. It's taken me quite a few years to get here to this point, but if you start today, I guarantee you every single video is going to be easier and easier and easier. Good luck.